was a terrible idea.
What was a terrible idea?
So this dude's cutting this tree down, right? Like tall tree. Like they're using like a sky lift or a sky lift, not a scissor lift, a sky lift, right? And he
Like a
cuts the
cherry picker?
motherfucking kinda, yeah, it's got like the arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's fucking cutting the top of this tree down. And he must have fucking, I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, or that's just the way it fell, but it fell onto the arm and fucking knocked him from the fucking like saddle up top, the cart up top. Like, dude.
For those of you joining us, this is episode 45 of the Split Screen Experience.
45 baby.
Yes. As I say, Cole, I feel like what you just described could be you and Cole W when you're working on your house and you're trying to do something up high.
Oh, whoa. I have some brains.
I wouldn't go that far.
Whenever I think of Cole, though, I just think that he would be Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys. I gotta go back.
That is a great comparison. That is actually a really good comparison.
He just doesn't seem that bright. He's real nice, but he's not that bright. It was really nice.
But I'm gonna be celebrating a bit tonight. I am not gonna get last place in our fantasy football league because I beat Coleman this week.
Dude, that was bullshit. I was coming. David and Njoku had your ass.
And guess what? Interception.
The oldest trick in the book.
Pass
you didn't,
intended for him.
You didn't respond to my meme I sent you at halftime last night when he had 20.
You sent me a meme? I'll be
Yeah,
honest, I was just kind of tired.
Yeah. It was the four. Oh, God damn it! It was the objects in mirror closer than they appear.
Oh, I thought you just sent that for the fuck of it. I didn't put it at all with the football.
No, I should have labeled it. But he had 20 in the first goddamn half. All he had to do was get like 10 more in the second half, and life would have been fine, and he didn't. He dropped. There was good I watched most of the game. There was good defense on some of the drops, but he dropped a few, and I was like, dude, that's just like, that's a point. It's a point right there just if you catch the ball. You don't even have to go anywhere. It's just a fucking point. Like, sorry, we're getting kind of sporty, but like David Njoku is a fantastic tight end. His main fucking downfall is that he goes through these goddamn streaks where he drops the ball. Like he's like a dude with no hands trying to catch a ball. Like it just right through his hands, off his chest, onto the ground. Oh, yeah, there's another one. Like there was like 4 or 5 last night. Like a starting tight end in the NFL should not do that. A top 5 tight end, like he is close to, if not is, should not do that. And it just hurts him so bad.
I think it's just it's probably compounds with the fact it's the Browns. And like Jameis is like he's either on or he's not.
Well, Jameis had a great game, 497 yards,
I don't know if
4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
He threw 6 touchdowns. Harvey.
He had 4.
He had
ESPN
6.
labels it as 4.
Right, but he threw 2 to the other team. I count that as 6.
Oh yeah, sure. He had 6 because he threw 2 pick sixes.
Yeah.
He almost threw 3. That last one almost went back 2.
Well, they were gonna stop it because there was no reason to have it go.
Bad.
Just run the game out.
Well, they got tackled. He didn't like slide. The defender got tackled.
The one before, he probably could have just stopped at the 1 yard line. It could have spiked it the rest of the game.
This kind of
spiking it stops the clock, Harmon.
And I don't know football.
What was it on Thanksgiving? That fucking horrible game. It was the Bears game. Oh my god! At the end, holy shit! I was like, "What are you guys doing? You're an NFL team, and you didn't fucking stop the clock. You just let this shit go. Like you didn't even try to attempt the field goal. You were kind of fucked. You were fucked. Either way, like."
Let me play a little devil's advocate to this. I watched that. It was like I saw it happen. They got down. They were like on the very edge of field goal range. It's like you're not quite comfortable seeing your kicker take that, which I can see. There was 30 seconds left when they ran that next there was 30 seconds left by the time the previous play ended. And they just watched it tick. And the next thing you know, there's 7 seconds left. And instead of just going for like another 5-10 yarder, just trying to get something quick, that fucking quarterback tried to hurl it for the end zone. Like, dude, get something quick and get a goddamn field goal. You've got a timeout left. He doesn't have to get out of bounds.
Exactly. That's like, I was like, why aren't you guys using your timeout? What's happening?
I in all honesty, I saw the vision. I saw that they wanted to get one more play, gain hopefully a few more yards to get more comfortable for field goal range, then call that last time. just never happened. I don't necessarily blame the entirety of that loss on the coach as much as the quarterback and the time management of the players on the field. But, their season's kind of shitty, so.
They're still could make the playoffs, though. They still could make the playoffs. They're still in the hunt.
Yeah.
They haven't
Browns still in the hunt?
Yeah.
Right.
They haven't been officially eliminated yet.
See? There's still hope.
I'm ready for the Browns to just have an old Yeller happen to them.
I was really thinking you were going to say, they're going to have a great comeback.
No,
you're take them out back and put a bullet in their brain.
No, they just need to stop. They need to once again look at their team and be like, how do we stop playing like dog shit?
Well, a lot of things, really. Get some better pass protection, maybe. O-line, maybe that.
Or not spend millions of dollars on somebody who likes masseuses a little too much.
We keep you on the payroll.
Well.
Honestly, if we got an allocation for masseuses, I would take advantage of
it. Are you what?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I think the allegation means it already happened.
Allocation,
You're not like,
allegation.
Here's a masseuse for you to fuck. Oh, I thought he said allegation. I was like, it means it already happened, Jarrett. Like, let's.
I was
use our head.
Cole had his big counter rebuttal ready.
It's like, I object. Why? Because it's damning to my case.
I can't lie.
Your Honor, I did it, but here's why you shouldn't put me in jail.
Your Honor, if I tell you, do you promise not to get mad?
I'm just a chill dude. Your Honor, he plays Oopsie Doopsie.
He plays
Oopsie Daisy. Now fuck off.
Oopsie Doo. Hey, Jarrett, what happened with PlayStation this week?
I guess a cool thing was that for their 30th anniversary, they let consoles users choose what theme they want their console to be. So if you choose PS1, it starts up with the PS1 sounds and shit. If you choose PS2, I mean it's the same for everything, but it was pretty cool. You get to it changes the menu sounds and shit, but overall it was pretty interesting. I haven't really looked too much into if they've added anything else yet, but I didn't know if they had a sale for classic games or not, but I did see though they have a growing collection of PS2 titles on there, but it's only accessible through PS Plus because it's all digital. I'm assuming it'll be here you can cloud game to our fucking Linux box that's in Japan and have the worst experience known to mankind.
$80. You can then play backwards compatibility.
Because it's another prime example of another year where Sony could go, hey, we're celebrating our legacy. We're going to completely rebuild the original God of War trilogy, or at least God of War 1 now, and then, or anything, remaster Bloodborne, all these things that could happen. They just choose not to because they hate money.
I've been seeing, at least on the God of War thing, I've been seeing a lot more things, a lot more rumors coming out with about a God of War remaster. Or a collection remake.
Hopefully it doesn't turn out like Knights of the Old Republic.
If they all looked if they would just bring up the first couple games up to God of War 3 level, I would be happy. That would be pretty much perfect. I'd be
because Sony would want to completely rebuild them from the ground up, because then they can keep them consistently getting refreshed with micro remasters. It's fair. More worth it in the long run.
There are some things with the older games that I would want an actual remake to happen, because some of the achievements and shit are kind of stupid. But I can't remember. I bought a PS Vita for the sole purpose of playing the God of War collection on it, and there was just parts of the game where it would just not work because it had to be super you had to pretty much have this fucking shit on lock. And I'm just there is no way I'm beating this game in under 3 hours on the PS Vita. You got me fucked up.
You're just a hater.
I think you could do it.
I believe in you.
If I could connect a DualSense controller to
the fact that they wouldn't let you do that was wild, right?
Yeah,
you had wireless remotes.
That's one thing I like. Yeah, I don't know what's up with it. I like with Xbox that you can. It seems with your controllers, you can pretty much Bluetooth into anything, whether it's a PC, your actual phone when you're doing cloud gaming and that kind of shit. But I haven't really attempted to use my DualSense controllers for anything.
I think your new ones do, the DualShock or whatever you're on now. Or no, DualSense is now, yeah.
Well, this one
I got the order backwards, but yeah,
DualSenses.
the newer ones I think can, but like for whatever reason, DualShock just was like, no, like absolutely not.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, all right.
We don't do that
Sony,
here.
Like, let's make another way to be clunky, but it's okay because now you can buy the PlayStation Portal.
Yeah.
Literally, like it would be one thing if it had the capability, which it does, to you play on you have to have your PS5, whatever. But like if you gave the option, oh, you can also cloud game on it. Then
now
maybe.
you can. That's like the new thing that just happened with that. They just either rolled out an update or announced an update. I saw this like in the last week or two. That'll allow you to play on the Portal even if you don't own a PS5. But I believe it's like a limited catalog that's going to let you do that. Is what the thing I saw. But it's like it's making steps in the right direction.
I mean,
but
that's still good.
Mm-hmm.
They are kind of dragging their feet with it, though.
This is where I commend Microsoft for taking the time down to heavily implement their like their infrastructure side to like facilitating cloud gaming, because we've seen since it came out versus now, it's leagues better. So they have that kind of been like that's been like their main focus moving forward in terms of building that up. And I'm like, cool, because it's nice when I'm having a slow night at work to pick up my Xbox. Now, can I like play like COD multiplayer on there? No. No, I can't. But
not yet. Maybe soon.
It's just,
but not right now. Not right now. It runs better.
Yeah.
Single player games, multiplayer games,
latency a little bad. A little bad.
Yeah, a little bad.
But it's been nice. Like at work, as I've been I still getting close to beating that Inscription, and I was doing that at work since it's turn based. Doesn't matter about any latency, and it's been great. It lets me get through games a little bit quicker because working like 40 hours a week.
I was able to play Stellaris and DayZ pretty good. I know those aren't really high demanding games, though.
It's nice.
Stellaris can be once you get late game and have like big fleets and attack shit. But no, it runs great for what I want.
I'm trying to think, has there been any other like gaming developments lately?
I don't think so, actually. None that I can really think of.
A trailer in a hot minute.
Like I want.
We get Indiana Jones soon.
Yeah, Indiana Jones comes out next week, but I think we also got another trailer for the new Zombies map today.
That. Yeah, Citadel de More looks very nice. I'm very, very happy.
Harmon gets the fire sword.
I suffered enough in Horizon Rock.
Imagine they bring back like something even worse.
The new era's too handholdy to make it anything too difficult.
I miss that. I do miss the like. It just seemed like BO3 type like Easter eggs in that kind of sense was like a lot harder, not like harder than what we have now. Like it wasn't impossible. It was just like, oh, here's a lot of steps. And this one, it's like, oh, here's you probably have about 7 to 8 steps instead.
And like the first one's like turn on power, step 2's pack a punch, and then step 3 is like hit these very obvious red buttons.
Compared to Gorod Krovi, for example, hit these nukes in a specific order or they blow up, and your teammate doesn't know what the order is.
I'm so glad they patched that. I would have lost my mind. I saw a video about that. The guy he's all right, put this. He dies immediately because he fucked it up, and I just hear the screeching, and I'm like, if that would have happened with Skippy, I think we would have just like not talked for like a week.
I wasn't gonna name drop him, but
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I guess you
name drop him. It was that idiot's fault.
I'm pretty sure I used like 3 or 4 of my good gobble gums, and I was out by that point for Gorod. And then like, if I think I typed, okay, so it's this, right? Yes. And I type it in, I die, and I'm like, I'm gonna actually lose my mind. What do you mean it's wrong?
Don't worry, Coleman. We're not mad at you because you didn't do it.
Wasn't my fault.
That's what we could do. We could do a smaller video doing Gorod with Cole.
No, I feel like that would be a bad idea. Was Coleman going to be the one to tell us the bomb step?
Yes.
Yeah, because like my only problem, right, with the BO3 era, everything was great. The only thing that they were doing that I didn't really agree with, I was just used to, was like making Pack-a-Punch not the most straightforward thing sometimes. Like,
right.
Like was a bitch it's I mean it's not horrible. Eventually that one you would figure it out because it's pretty like, oh, here's a pod with a laser and stuff. Like it kind of helps you out a little, but like Pack-a-Punch should be something you can always get without looking up a guide. That part of Cold War and BO6, I completely agree with. Yeah, power and pack should be easy because you physically can't realistically play the map without them. But then the Easter egg should be like fuck miserable to like figure out. Not people in 30 minutes going, it's just you take the jet gun, suck up the things, and then kill the thing. And I'm like, oh well, that map's done.
Yeah, like the only part of Terminus that was like hard was the final fight.
Which
like that was it. Like it felt more, it was like, it was a breeze. Like it was Liberty Falls the level easy up until that point, and then you immediately hit a wall and you're like, holy shit.
We found out though, it also isn't that hard overall. It's more just like if you are playing with people that aren't contributing, that's when it feels like you're not doing any damage to the boss. Because like as much as Skipper's like, you gotta get there before round 10 or it's impossible. And it 100% is past that impossible. But if you're playing with people that aren't actively shooting it and you're the only one unloading, yeah, you're not going to like watch a massive chunk of health leave the monster because you're 25% of the team. Like
there should be like, this is kind of a little off, like just the amount of like radiation and shit that you get from like the bugs and shit. I feel like there probably is a perk and I'm just blanking on it, but like there should be something that heavily negates that effect from like the bugs and shit. But like, I guess it'd only be like useful with that boss fight and maybe the gremlins, I think they're called, or the
like technically for like the bugs and stuff. I mean, like there's a stamina up augment where if you're moving, you don't take projectile damage. I'm pretty sure, but it's also kind of bad. So I don't know. It's not that big of a deal overall, but I can see where you're coming from. And obviously, we've seen we're gonna get more.
Like that was. Like for me, that was the worst part about the final fight, was because just you were constantly in the yellow shit, and it was just constantly like that was probably what killed me more than the zombies or anything. Like I can run around you, but then the radiation blast would hit, and you're like, oh well, there goes 90% of my health. I'm screwed.
You got to get behind the two things that cover.
That's not for radiation. That's for when he slams down. Radiation is just fucking all the time, and you're like, I'm gonna actually crash out.
I think you crash out regardless.
Actually,
pretty frequently.
I would crash out less.
Yeah, but you were literally just crashing out like about 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, not because of Call of Duty.
That's because they got people with like 2 brain cells rubbing together driving on our interstates.
And that's why Jared keeps cans of soup in his glove compartment to throw out the window.
Actually, I get those like what do you call them? At 4th of July, they're like literal pieces of paper with gunpowder.
Oh, poppets.
Poppets, yeah. I just throw one of those out my fucking window and just hear them just pop right on the windshield.
Yeah, I think that'll be.
I don't think you'd hear.
I think it'd be really cool because I think it'll leave little blast marks on it, like it does on the sidewalk. So you could pepper their screen with those, and then they would crash the car.
No, I remember one time I was driving somewhere, and I was driving behind David, and like I just start hearing like these ping, ping, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then he's like, oh, I was throwing airsoft BBs at you. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding?
That doesn't surprise me from David. David's a little mischievous.
Oh, he's a little...
Is that the word you want to use?
Yeah. We're not going to be able to see him till after Christmas.
This is going to be like the one podcast he listens to.
I've already made that joke with him several times.
But I don't think he ever will get not tired of hearing it.
Probably.
I don't think he's going to come around and be like, oh, that's actually a really good one.
Or he's going to send a screenshot of his maps and he's like, I am going to be there in 10 hours.
I think it would be longer than 10 hours.
The way David drives, I wouldn't be surprised if he got here in like 8.
Get here in 8.
You're driving that crotch rocket through the fucking West Virginia mountains and shit, and you'd finally come back.
Fair enough.
He's a very dedicated imp.
Apparently. Apparently he is. You got anything to add, Coleman?
What is David? David ate ketchup in a Frosty one time, and it was the most one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen.
Why would he?
Interesting. I don't remember why he did that.
I remember why. Because he wanted some more ketchup packets to put in his car for whenever he gets things. I don't know why he needed ketchup packets, but he wanted them. And the worker at McDonald's didn't want to give him ketchup packets just to have. So David came up with a lie. I was going to put them in my McFlurry. And she's like, oh yeah, do it right now. So he ripped one open, put ketchup in his flurry, and then ate a scoop of it. And he's like, that's really good. We drive away, and he's like, that shit was fucking awful.
like
immediately after that person just walked out. I'm quitting. I can't.
Probably.
Like it,
and
it's just why? How desperate are you for a fucking ketchup packet?
Apparently very desperate.
Now, like if it was like a Chick-fil-A where they have like the fancy ketchup things that every store should use, but choose to be stupid, I could get that.
Yeah.
That's something with McDonald's that kind of bothers me. Is that you'll like if you don't specifically ask for ketchup packets, they won't give you any. And it's like, bro, like
how much stuff are you putting ketchup on?
Well, I mean, the fries are nice. I mean, I wouldn't mind having like packets for that, but then you end up, oh, I think I got ketchup, and then you drive away and you're like, fuck, I didn't get ketchup.
I can't tell you the last time I had fries with ketchup. Like I was really sitting here,
I usually
and like I come to think of it, I'm like, I get McDonald's, I don't get ketchup, I just grab the fries and go. Like,
yeah,
like fries have to be pretty bad for me to put ketchup on them. Like they have to be pretty like either soggy or just like no salt, something.
So I like them with both. Like McDonald's, I can live without the ketchup for McDonald's fries, but like I like having the ketchup there as an option too.
No, you don't want nothing.
Now, if it's like a specialized ketchup, like this place that the three of us have been to in Indianapolis, they have really good like a house ketchup.
But that's different because they're basically making their own sauce. Like I'm assuming it's like not just ketchup.
Yeah, it's like a spicy ketchup.
Only like one person in here. No, the fucking fast food restaurant that has the best ketchup is Whataburger. That shit is amazing. They have like spicy ketchup and like different kind. It is good. Like that spicy ketchup is phenomenal.
We love so much. Why don't you marry it?
Tell me about it.
I would.
Why don't you go back to Texas so you can eat it?
I mean, I'm going to Texas in January, so
like on purpose.
I'll have to send a picture. Yes.
Cool. Happy for you.
Well, finally, some fucking peace and quiet.
Oh yeah, but hey, you get to trade me for somebody else. So there you go.
What, your cousin coming to town?
Yeah, Jorge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your cousin comes to town. Yeah, Jorge.
Otherwise
known as George. That really bothered me. Like,
hold on. I don't want to interrupt, but 8th grade, we had to create like this like a children's story, and Sid decided mine's gonna be Jorge the talking waffle or whatever. Instead of George, it was Jorge. And every time our English teacher was like, "Oh, George," he's like, "No, Jorge."
Like,
I'm like, all right.
It's just that name kind of gets to me because like when I was younger, my family interacted fairly consistently with a certain religious sect, not to be named, going to church on Sundays, and there was a kid who was adopted into this family, and they're like, "Oh, that's Jorge." I'm like, "That's a cool name. How do you spell that?" Very young. He's younger than me at this point. I was probably like 10. He was probably 7, something like that. And I'm like, "That's a cool name. How do you spell it?" And then he wrote it down, and it was literally just George. And I got so viscerally mad. I was like, "All right, this kid's fucking with me."
Well, if you look at the spelling, like in Spanish, it'd make more sense for if it's Jorge. There should be a J in there instead of a G.
Yeah, right? It should be Jorge or Jorge.
What does G make a hey sound, or is it? I thought it was something else.
Yeah, it does.
Like sometimes it's J, and then other times, like sometimes it's a J.
Okay. J is like, or I don't know. J is like the H sound, like
yeah,
ha ha ha. So if it's Jorge, it should be Jorge.
Right.
Instead, this kid wrote down George. I'm like, all right, that doesn't bother me at all.
Well, not bothering me. Not bothering me. But it's bothering me. It's bothering me a lot.
I can't wait. I can't wait for when in the future Andrew will have like his firstborn.
Absolutely.
And his partner will be like, I think I want to name him Jorge. I just want to be there to watch Andrew's face.
We need to plant that seed as much as we can.
I don't think. Well, if I don't plant my seed, you're not planting shit. Like, that's how that one's gonna go. Let's light this candle. No.
Well, I mean, if you adopt, I mean, we could always just call it Jorge.
Don't call my potential hypothetical child it.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be a boy or girl. I don't know what you're gonna adopt.
Call my child Jorge. You're gonna make it Jorge. You know?
It's a girl. It's a girl. Just be Jorge.
First time we see Andrew's kid, and no matter what their name, hey Jorge, it's David.
It ain't gonna be David either. I don't know why everyone has such little faith in me naming my potential child that I don't have.
No, I know it was in the future.
What?
My dad says that.
We didn't hear you.
He said he wanted to.
No, we didn't hear you what you said.
I know a name like Shanique was in your future.
No. No, it's not.
My dad does. He brings it up. He's like, "Yeah, I wanted to name your sister Shaniqua." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
That would have been kind of funny.
That would have been fucking hysterical.
It's funny to watch my mom get angry. It's like, no, it wasn't. No, it was definitely Shaniqua.
Behold, my two offspring, Jared and Shaniqua.
All right.
Sometimes, like when we're younger, he'd just go around like, "Hey, what's up, Shanique?" And my sister gets so
I wonder
mad.
why.
That's not my name. Quit calling me that.
See, I didn't have that. I had when I played sports when I was younger. Being named Andrew. Believe it or not, there's a couple of those out there. And when I played, nope. So when I played soccer for like 4 years, I was like a very young kid before I realized I hated it. I played on teams consisting of other Andrews, other kids named Drew, other kids named Andy. And so there was no name that my dad could call me, no iteration of my name that would like work and identify me to not let me know that he's talking to me, like when he's yelling something on the side. Mm-hmm. So he called me Sharnetta. Sharnetta. Sharneta. He put it on shirts, and that was the first thing. And so I always made the comment, I said, if I'm gonna have a kid, I might name it that just to spite him.
I thought you were gonna say he just called me Jordan. My last name.
There was a Jordan on the team too.
Other thing. I figured there was gonna be a Jordan.
There was a Jordan, Jordan with a Jordyn, which is also not how you spell that name, but yeah.
No, if my dad gave me that name, it wouldn't have been that. It would have been he would have been screaming Charter at the fucking field.
I mean, at least that's like a description, right? Like, it's not a made up Fantasyland name. Because like I'll tell you right now, if I remember walking down the street and I bump into a guy and he's like, "Oh yeah, my name's Sharnetta," on the spot, I will call my dad and deposit my entire bank account into his.
Cole, you know what to name your firstborn now?
Hold on. I would like everybody to know that Harmon, first like year or two at Old Fort, he required everyone to call him Hollywood Harmon.
I did not fucking say that for shit.
I know.
No, that's what fucking AJ and Weston would call me because my parents had a Camaro.
I'm sure, Armin. I'm sure.
That's
but if it makes
why
you feel
that
any
name
better,
hopped.
if it makes you feel any better, my mom wanted to name me Bernard.
Oh my god!
I know.
I'm not gonna dox you. Like that last name, that would have been a great name.
Bernie Bigelow. Oh, like that's literally what she said. I asked her. I couldn't remember. I just texted her. I was like, "What did you want to name me as a child?" And she said Bernard Edward Bigelow or Bernie Bigelow. And I'm like, "Thank
you could have been Bern E. Bigelow."
He could have. Cole, you know what to name your firstborn now.
I honestly,
I think
there's got to be.
I think we make a pact here right now. If Odd Horizon gets to a certain level, we get to have a council meeting of all our actual members, and then there will be a vote to decide the names of our children.
So what you're telling me is I need to start cranking them out so you don't have the opportunity.
No, we'll backdate them. We'll go back and retroactively change your child's name.
Right. My child will be like 15. You'll be like, nope, we're going to the courthouse. We're changing its name.
There's no Sam Bigelow. It's Shaniqua Bigelow.
It's a dude.
What do you mean I'm going to be called Jared's Princess?
We're getting out of hand. We'll be back next week with hopefully some better names to name our children.
Harmon's is going to name his Herb.
All right. Let's stop.